Here is grade 7, module 5, lesson 2. Our I can statement for today is that I can compute the products of signed rational numbers using the properties of numbers to simplify calculations. So today our numbers are going to get a little more complicated, a little decimals, a little fractions, but we're going to move our numbers around using our commutative property to make our calculations a little more simple. So here's an example of that. Here is your initial problem. -5 times 3 times a -6. Now moving or having the -5 and 3 closer together, that's something pretty easy to multiply. So those we can go in order, get our -15 times a -6, which gets us our positive 90. But over here, we have 8 times -7 times 5. And we could do 56 times 5. That's not the prettiest of numbers. So what they did was move the 5, the commutative property, moved that 5 next to the 8, simplified that to get 40. And now we can do 40 times -7. We can use some mental math for that to get a positive times a negative to get -280. So by using our commutative property, thinking like commute, move, we can move the numbers around. And then associative property to group them together. We can make our math problems a little less complicated. Here's our next problem. We have 2/3 times -7 times 9. So we know that 3 here can simplify with 9. So we're going to move these a little bit closer together to get 2/3 right next to that 9. So a little fraction review for you. 9, when we multiply fractions, that's one of our easier operations. We move across our numerator, move across our denominator. But in our denominator of 9, that's a whole number, so it's going to be over 1. And then we can do some little like pre-simplifying. 3 can go into 9, so 3 goes into itself once. 3 goes into 9 3 times. If we go across our numerator, we're going to get 6 in our numerator, and 1 times 1 is 1. So now we have 6 times our -7. So we grouped those together, did our first two numbers, multiplied by the third. So now we have a positive 6 times a -7 should get us -42. So just remember, as these numbers get more complicated, so we're going to move away from the whole numbers, we're going to get some fractions and decimals, those same rules apply from the previous lesson. So have those available for you to help refer to what the sign will be at the end of the expression. Okay, so we're going to work through these three problems here. -4 times 7 times -2. So right off the bat, I recommend looking at your signs. Oh, sorry, that's a negative. Negative times a positive times a negative. Our answer, what is our answer going to be? So we only have three things. So we need to start by doing our first two. So negative times a positive, that's going to be a negative. So if we do this answer here, -4 times 7 will be negative. And now we have -4 times 7 times another negative. And we have our perfect positive pair, so that means our answer, after we multiply all these numbers together, our answer will be positive. A little tip, I would put your equal sign in a positive there, just so you know that you've done that work, you realize our answer is positive. And that way, when you get to the end of the problem, it's not, oh, did I forget a negative or is the answer really positive? Um, just a little tip for that one. And then we got to figure out the numbers. So -4 times 7 times and 2, -2 there. So what is 4 times 7? That'll be 28. And then we need to multiply that by our 2. And by doing this work up here, it allows us just to focus on the numbers. So that way we're not worried about the signs. We just need to do 4 times 7 times 2, and we already have that sign figured out here. So 4 times 7 is 28, times 2 will get us 56. Okay, here, same thing. We're going to have a positive times a negative times a negative. Our associative property, grouping these together. A negative times a positive is a negative. So now I have negative times negative. It's a perfect positive pair. Our final answer, whatever that may be, will be positive. And then, let's see here, we can do these two numbers if we want. 0.6 times 4 be 24. We're multiplying these. And then we can't forget our decimal. One jump there, one jump there. 9 times 2.4. I'm going to do our 2.4 down here. 9 times 4 is 36. 2 times 9 is 18. 19, 20, 21. And we cannot forget, we won't forget our decimal 21.6 as our final answer, and we already know that it is positive. For our last one here, we have a negative times a positive times a negative. We've done this. We know that our answer, just like up here, is going to be a positive. And then let's group these two together because we can simplify just a bit. 1/4 times 2 over 1. 2 goes into itself once, into 4 twice. There's 1/2. Get rid of some of this stuff over here. So now we have 15 times 1/2. What is half of 15? That is 7.5 or 7.5. And we know our answer is positive, so that is our final answer.